What's up guys, back with another video. In today's video I'm going to blow your mind because I'm going to share the absolute most valuable ad video you have ever seen. So we are going to revolutionize the market in terms of meta ads, okay? And I'm going to break down how we are going to optimize our offer-based creatives, because we are doing offer-focused creatives, how we are going to do our testing cycle, because that's one of the most important things. And then I'm going to show you a little bit of a numbers breakdown in terms of how we actually break down the numbers, how our ads are performing. I'm going to make sure that I will show you our exact creatives, okay? So you will see what exactly I am doing so you can replicate it as well. And in terms of how we build up the entire funnel in terms of story flow, etc., etc., okay? So it's extremely important that you understand the key components here, all right? So first of all, what you got to understand is that when you're trying to do organic, right? Because we are talking about how not to do organic, okay? Because it's not going to bring in quality leads. Most people, when they start marketing their offers, they are trying with outbound, which is, by the way, outbound is great, just most people don't know how to do that, okay? And they are trying to do organic. The problem is that they are posting reels, pictures, stories, etc. There is a lack of control there, okay? The time investment that it requires is not bringing in the money, unfortunately, right? So it's too much effort for no money, because you're literally begging the algorithm like, please, 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 let me get some qualified leads. That's why it's not going to work out, okay? So the traffic mechanism that we are going to use is offer-based creatives, right? Soft CTA creative 1, soft CTA creative 2, and 3. We are always running 3 different creatives at the same time, right? IG, DM / profile ads, okay? So the most important thing is that whenever you're running this, and why we are running soft creatives, soft CTA creatives, is because the market is extremely bored about, if you're a coach, consultant, or service provider, then I'm going to help you with this type of method. Follow me and you will understand my method, right? It's super freaking boring. So what we want to do is we want to target people who are problem aware, not people who are looking to buy, not people who are already bought in. We are looking to bring in cold audiences that are extremely qualified, which is the most important thing here, right? So if you're doing soft CTAs, like on my Instagram, just check out my Instagram, go on my ads, you're going to see that many times, oftentimes, I'm not even really leveraging any types of CTA. Okay, and people are following me, people are DMing me, right? People are bored of CTA, people don't want to be sold to. And in combination with this, with our testing cycle, guys, what you gotta understand that, let's say you have an audience size of 2 million, right? Let's say you launch an ad campaign. You set up it to a different demographic, a different interest, etc., right? And the audience size is, let's say, 2 million. Now, what you gotta understand is, even if you have, and you target your ad for the exact same interest, for the exact same location, and the exact same demographic with the exact same creative, your ad is still going to be in one of these little circles in between the 2 million, right? It's because, let's say you're spending $100 a day on ads, okay, which is not too high, but if you're just starting out, okay, you can even rock it with $5 per day. I've shown ads before with $5 a day, okay? So what you gotta understand is that even if you launch an ad, let's say you're targeting 100,000 people, right? The audience size is 100,000 people. Like, from the 2 million, it's going to be only a little portion of those people, okay? So even if you shoot the exact same type of everything, you still need a little bit of testing, which is why we created this ROA testing cycle, the ROA testing cycle. Okay, so how we usually run our ads, and this is how you should run it as well. You create 3 soft CTA creatives. Don't use hard CTAs, okay, guys? Everybody's bored of it. Even you are bored of it, right? When you see an ad of like, hey, if you're XYZ, just give me a follow or DM me and I send you my masterclass. People don't care about that. People don't want to hear CTA. People know what to do when they want to buy someone, okay? So just show enough proof, show enough credibility in order for people to actually buy, right? So we launch 3 soft CTA ads, every single one in 5 different ad sets, especially for DM ads, and we spend $5 on every single one of those ad sets, okay? It's not expensive. You wait 3 days, you turn off the non-performers, you wait another 3 days, you turn off the non-performers. You gotta make sure that you also use leveraged targeting options, okay? What does that mean? You want cheap leads, right? Because cheap leads mean a lot of leads, but you don't want cheap leads in the sense that they are cheap as a person, so they don't want to buy your product, right? You want qualified leads for not a high amount of money. And for this, let me explain, for example, one of my best working targeting setups, right? The interest is conversion marketing. The location is Bali, Cyprus, Cape Town, Hungary, for example, my home country, right? These are all countries that are not obvious selling for high ticket, right? Because people are not making a lot of money, but there are a lot of online entrepreneurs, so you gotta be smart with your location, right? And obviously demographic, CEO, founder, because I work with business owners. This works with every single one of the niches. Now, right here, if you can check it out, we literally created a copy-paste targeting setup, okay, for every main niche, right? The health coaching niche, wealth coaching niche, the dating coaching niche, hobby coaching niche, right? Any kind of service provider, this is literally a copy-paste, right? So if you want this and you want to understand how to actually create profitable ad campaigns for $5 a day spent on that with the perfect targeting, then send me a message. I'm going to send this entire document over to you, and you are going to be able to know how to exactly target it in. Okay, now in terms of that, once you have the right targeting, you got to understand your KPIs, you got to understand your metrics. All right, creative plus targeting equals the right cost per qualified result. All right, if it's under 15, and this is our ads tracker, you can check it out really quickly. You can send me a message and I will send over this ad tracker as well, right? For example, July, you got to track all of this information, right? So if you're not tracking your metrics well, make sure that you send me a message. I'm going to send it over. Then your results are under 15 cost per qualified result, you are really rocking it. All right, so the most important thing here is that the cost per qualified result should be under 15, the creative should be the right one, and there should be precise targeting. So we reverse engineer this. Everybody starts with the creative, but you got to start with knowing what your ideal cost per result is. Okay, it's extremely important. Now the conversion mechanism, right? How this funnel works. Now obviously it's very important that you do 3 types of content: authority, expert, proof. Okay, you got to show that you're an expert, you got to show authority, and you got to show proof in terms of client results. Now the most important thing is that when you combine all of this in your implementable long form content, and this works with any niche, and you give exact methods of how to actually do that, that's when you're going to really crush it. So as I mentioned, that's when you're going to really crush it. Okay, that's when you're going to have clarity, you're going to build trust, and you're going to create what's called FOMO. Okay, we are in Dubai, so if you guys heard a little bit of loud cars, you know, it's not by accident. All right, so if you create FOMO, and this is the entire purpose of this funnel, this is the entire purpose of the target audience, of the targeting, of setting up the right creatives, doing soft CTAs, because if you're not doing soft CTAs, people will think that you're needy. Okay, but if you do soft CTAs, you're literally not even doing any CTAs in your ads, and you build trust and you build clarity in your content, people will have FOMO. They will want to know what to do from you specifically. And that's when you're going to have a lead magnet of an ad. Because what is an ad? It's a lead magnet, okay? Now, obviously, you need to delegate everything with the setter, okay? The setter needs to do a conversation. There needs to be a conversion asset in place that the setter sends. That needs to be a call, right? If the call, anything happens on the call, it doesn't close, you need to follow up. You need to have a right follow-up sequence, which we have at least 5 to 10 different touch points before someone even jumps on the call, not just as follow-ups. And if it closes, of course, the onboarding needs to be taken care of by the CSM, okay? You need to have a client success manager in place. This is how you automate a company. In this sense, you will have this triangle right here, okay? The fulfillment is taken care of by the CSM. The setter calls are taken care of the setter, and you have a solid system in place. The foundations is extremely important. That's your job as the CEO, okay? Because if you are setting up the right foundations, everything is going to be absolutely crushing it, okay? So let's see this in action, all right? So in terms of the numbers breakdown, how we break down our numbers, right? So for example, one of our ads, okay? The attention and the triggered FOMO, 43,251 profile visits. Investment from lead already, right? 1,496 DMs, 105 booked calls, 92 qualified prospects, 87 showed up, 32 closed, 170K cash collected in the month of June, which is absolutely insane. This is why we are called fit scaling, okay? So if you run this funnel, if you run this entire funnel and you don't do the organic bullshit that people tell you to do, you are going to be absolutely crushing it. In terms of our content, right? Proof of concept story, just to show you that we are actually doing this, right? Look at the client results that we are getting, 34,000, right? 34,000 generated, 72,000 generated right here, okay? Alyssa, from 0 to booking 2 to 3 calls a day. Okay, even some more results, 45,000 generated in less than 6 weeks. Okay, Craig, 4,250 generated in less than 24 hours. It's absolutely insane. And then, of course, this is just the proof. Okay, I just want to show you that we are actually executing on this advice. Okay, educational or solution-based stories, very important as well. Educational or solution-based stories, okay? This is another style of stories that we do. We break down our systems, we break down our mechanisms, we break down how we actually get results to our clients and how we are getting results ourselves, which is extremely important, okay? And as last, credibility, hero story and trust, okay? Very important, right? We started me and my brother, as minimum wage workers. This is what most people don't do, okay? Because many people actually didn't come from nothing, right? We started as minimum wage workers. My brother was cleaning in a freaking hotel, and I was serving coffee in Costa Coffee, okay? Minimum wage in the UK, classic immigrant life, and we were trying to become professional fighters, right? That's our background. And then we started our own company, becoming an online fitness coach. I keep sharing this in my studies so people know that I'm human. I'm not just some kind of weirdo shouting on the internet about how to make money. Okay, I actually came from nothing. I didn't have rich parents. I didn't have any of that, all right? And as a little bit of a balance, right, of a counterbalance, in terms of showing the other side of this, right, the success that I got, which is initial state versus current state, okay? It's extremely important because you need to become the person that your target audience wants to become. If you're not the person that your target audience wants to become, nothing's gonna happen, right? 2.5 months in Albania, right? Rolex, villas, shooting content, having a big team. This is what sets it all together. I don't just share my systems, like this video, for example. I actually show it implemented in my own company, in my ads, in my YouTube videos. I actually show that I came from nothing and I became something, right? And it's really, really important because then people will understand that you can do this as well, right? You just need to start an online business. You need to make sure that you watch my videos and you need to make sure that you actually execute on them, okay? So it's extremely important, guys. If you want to implement this funnel into your company, you want to use our testing cycle, which is revolutionizing the ads market, right? If you want to use that, make sure that you send me a message. I'm going to send this entire document over. Just make sure that you send me a message, okay? And most importantly, just book in a call, right? You know why you should book in a call? Because at the end of the day, doing this yourself is completely different than doing it with me, okay? So see you in the next video, guys. Thank you very much.